Welcome back to another Cube video. My name is Edward, also known as Strategy, and I'd like to give out another special shout out to Titans Cards and Games in Pinellas, Florida. Pinellas Park, Florida, specifically. Also, John, you should give Hart a raise, and I guess you can give Box like a high five or something. I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me. And here, I think I like taking the Thoughtseize. Unmarked Grave is a unique one. Preordained's fine. Thundering Falls is fine. I don't think I like hardly anything else in this pack. Mind Twist is also just fine if you have a bunch of fast mana, but obviously we don't have that yet. So I'm just going to take the Thoughtseize. I think it's the best card in this pack. So we're just going to take it and see how that goes. The last few drafts, I feel like I have just not played my pack one pick ones. It'll be really hard to not play Thoughtseize though, so we'll see. Okay, so Thoughtseize leads into a bunch of different directions. Thoughtseize is a good card with Aberrant Oculus because it is a turn one play that goes to the graveyard to help fuel it. I think it's a bit aggressive here to take the Fatal Push. I could see taking Teferi if I want to go 3 colors. I can see going Smuggler's Copter if I want to try to be maybe a Rakdos or Azorius aggro style deck. I don't think it pairs well with Thalia, even though you can like turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Thalia. I don't want to be doing that, even though that technically does curve in that exact example. I just don't want to be drawing Thoughtseize after I've Thalia'd. I am holding up the draft with this decision, unfortunately, so I think I will take the Abhorrent Oculus. I just think that it's the best card and doesn't put me into 3 colors immediately. Okay, so wow, this is not great. I think I'm just going to take Starting Town here. I do think Starting Town is a great land, and I don't want it. I think it's, again, kind of aggressive to take a tragic trajectory this early. And there's nothing really else that I really want. If this was Undercity Sewers, I would take it. I would just slam dunk it, as it's a surveil land to help fill up the Abhorrent Oculus. If I took Teferi, I think I'm probably slam dunking this Meticulous Archive, but as it sits, I want to take the Starting Town. Okay, well, we are noticing a bunch of white cards, so we should take that into consideration moving forward. Again, this is just not an exciting pack for us. Which means there's a couple things that could mean. That we need to either change trajectory, so if we're noticing a bunch of white cards, maybe we can move into white and just put the Oculus on hold, because none of these cards are great with Oculus. I could also see maybe taking a Plateau, which I don't think is correct, but I could see it. I could be convinced. Yeah, maybe we should just take Enduring Innocence here. And then maybe go into black-white, or it still be Esper if we really want to be, but okay, well here the best card is this Fire Covenant, and I don't think it's remotely close. Which is kind of annoying, because the black cards have trickled. Now, we don't know if that's because the packs are just light on black this early, or if like the person to our immediate right is like cutting it. Like maybe they open like a Sheoldred or a Bowmasters and they're just taking the best black cards, and we just happen to open Thoughtseize and we're getting punished by that. But here I am going to take just what I believe is to be the best card in the pack. It's still early. We can be very open moving forward and just see some more signals. Okay. I do think that black just happened to be kind of weak the first couple of packs, because Inquisition of Kozilek is a great black card, and I don't think it would be pick 6 if someone to our immediate right was drafting black. So here I'm going to have a little bit more confidence going into black, and I'm just going to take Inquisition. I also just think it's the best card left in the pack, which is a good sign. Okay, Grief and Dismember. All right, so I'm just going to fully say that the first few packs were kind of weak on black, which gives me a little bit more faith. I'm glad I took this Fiery Covenant, because I took it just strictly because I think it was the best card. But now I'm happy I did take it, because it's more likely I'm going to be able to play it and not just have to splash it or not play it overall. I do recognize that I kind of need to hurry up a little bit for our draft mate's sake. Something I'm considering is taking this Gloomlake Verge, but we don't have to play the Abhorrent Oculus, and there's other and better blue-black lands. I'm kind of between Dismember and Grief. This is tough. I like the 1-mana removal spell, so I'm probably going to take it. Grief, I've seen wheel super late, and also I don't want to really be pitching. I'm not really a pitch Grief deck here, and I already have 2 premium discard spells. Here I'm just going to take the Shatter Backstreet. I could see someone wanting to take Carnage Interpreter as it's a way to fill up an Abhorrent Oculus. And if I wanted to play Jund, because we did see some decently late green cards, I could see taking Wrenn and 6 or maybe even Grist. But maybe I talked myself out of Shadowy Backstreet. I don't know. This is definitely a tough draft for me. That's for sure. But I'm gonna take the Shadow Backstreet. Okay, here I think my knee-jerk reaction is just take Concealing Curtains. I'm not happy with this pick. I could see taking Thundering Falls if I wanted to try to say be 4-color, but I'm just gonna take more of the black cards, make it a little bit easier. I'm not super excited to take Mana Confluence here, but I mean, it's all the colors in dual land, and I don't really want to play any of these other cards, so I think that's actually an easy pick, as much as I'm not happy about it. Bone Crusher Giant's all right. We did pretty well with it in the previous draft. Tragic Trajectory is another fine one I don't mind taking here. It's also just a 1-mana play, and I kind of like that, so I'll lean into that. So my general rule of thumb, I think I'm going to kind of cancel the White Splash here for a minute. Maybe someone else also picked up late. But my general rule of thumb is to take the fixing before taking like the splash color, unless the splash color is just that powerful. Because then we can take, like, see, now I could take this Generous Int if I really want to. Which, honestly, I don't really want to, because I don't know if I'm green. I'd rather just take the black playable, I guess. This draft isn't going the way I want it to. Blackcleave Cliffs there is an actual excellent pickup. And Deathrite Shaman as the last pick, I'm happy with that as a pick 15, honestly. Okay, here I think the Reanimate is immediately what I want the most. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut the Abhorrent Oculus for now. We can still play Shadowy Backstreet as a black Surveil land, and who knows, maybe we get like an Arid Mesa we can fetch with it to get all 3 colors off of it. Now keep in mind that the what is it called? The not Entomb, but the worse Entomb. Unmarked Grave, I believe. I don't believe that wheeled. So someone is trying to do some shenanigans. Now that could just be the Echo the Eons type stuff, but I'm going to assume that there's a Reanimator drafter. And honestly, I think this is just the best card anyways. I wouldn't mind seeing a Tersa, but I want to take the Reanimate. I think it's just the better card. Now, this way, I don't know if we're going to see a bunch of black cards yet, but we shall see. I don't have a lot of confidence in the Sneak Attack, just because, again, I do think that someone to my left, and maybe by pick 4 or 5, so somewhere in the middle, the opposite side of the table, I think has the Unmarked Grave, and that means that there's probably someone that wants to Sneak Attack, which means there's probably someone that takes a bunch of Sneak Attack targets. So I don't have a lot of confidence taking this. Something I do have a lot of confidence in is that we're going to play red and black because of this Fire Covenant. Therefore, I want this Blood Crypt, and I'm just going to take it here. I don't think there's anything else in here that doesn't require me to splash that is strong enough to deter me. Also, something of note, Deathrite Shaman is nice to have the green splash here, so Stomping Ground was actually a pretty good pickup for that. Harvester of Misery is a nice one. So is Emperor of Bones. You don't have to be Reanimate to make this card good. Sometimes just eating their graveyard once a turn can help turn off Delve spells. It can turn off value engines like Luris, or maybe even draw 7s. It can also help against the Breach decks. Also, notably, Josh Haas is a Tulsa native artist, and he's been with the Land Run for several years now, and actually even did last year's playmat art. So special shout out to Josh Haas. Thank you so much. I haven't confirmed yet, but I hope he makes it out to this year's Land Run, and I hope you do too watching. Anyways, so back to this. I am actually just gonna take the the Emperor of Bones, just based on what I said. I do see this red-black land. I think our fixing is decent enough. I'm just gonna take the Emperor of Bones. Okay, Chain Lightning I'm actually kind of happy with here. And yeah, there's not much else for us, so I'll just take the Chain Lightning and move on. I'm sure everyone at this pod hates me right now, and that's okay. Undercity Sewers, if we saw that earlier, I'd be very happy with it, but here I think I just want the Graveyard Trespasser. I'm not like excited to play this deck per se, but I do think the Graveyard Trespasser is an okay to decent card to have. Thraben Inspector is a card I would take probably over it if I was more confident in the white splash. Hymn to Torok and Duress. Oh, wow, that's incredible. I mean, I'm going to take the Hymn to Torok, but I do hate that I wish this Duress was in the last pack. I'd take that over the Graveyard Trespasser any day. But yeah, we're going to slam dunk this Hymn to Torok. We are very clearly in black here. Detectives Phoenix we drafted to some extent last time. I could see taking the Commercial District. I could see taking the Restless Cottage. I could see taking Terrace Under. I just don't know if I want Cecil per se. But we seem to be an aggressive strategy, so let's just take this Cecil, I guess. I really don't want a bunch of tap lands in my deck that has this many 1-drops. So we could play the Territorial Kavu or the Pillage the Bog somewhat effectively. I don't think any of the other cards are really for us. It's just kind of, do we want to commit to Jund? Which we don't have to commit to really either of these. I think I'd rather take the Pillage the Bog just based on the fact that we're more black than anything. And red and green are kind of our splash colors, or at least this is one of our primary colors. Wow, Vaultborn Wield. That's kind of crazy, honestly. Here I'm just going to take the Bauble, though. There's still a non-zero chance we want to play the Suborn Oculus. Titania. Gosh, I love Titania so much, but I'm not taking it here. It's funny that the Zern Orb's in the same pack. I could see taking Avara. I do like Avara. However, I think I'd rather just stay up to date on my red-black untapped dual lands. Because I am playing this Fire Covenant 100%. Okay, Harvest of Misery is on the wheel is actually insane. And I'm glad that I took the red-black land that pack, so I don't feel bad passing the tapped red-black land that pack, because Harvest of Misery, I should say, are just can be an incredible card depending on the matchup. Don't really want Nethergoyf, although we are decent at filling up our own graveyard with it, and it's also just another 1-drop. I think I like that better than Ghostfire Slice. Ghostfire Slice did win us a game last draft, but I don't think that shouldn't use past results to affect current situations, like looking at the top card of your deck and be like, oh, I would have had the land if I would have kept, etc. Like, that doesn't mean it's correct to do so. I'm going to... Okay, it doesn't matter because I'm not going to play white anyways. I was going to last second take the 1-drop just on the off chance. Okay, well, we got a technical playable dual land for free, so I'm not going to complain. Okay, so Library of Alexandria is the most powerful card in this pack by far. I could argue taking one of these 2 5-colored lands as well. However, so the thing that library decks excel in, or however you want to say that, is by having a lot of low drops so that you don't have to discard to it, like if you're on the draw. And as much as I do want this Night's Whisper, I actually think I'm just supposed to take this Library of Alexandria. We have so many ways to kind of abuse it that I'm just going to take it here. And I do think that Night's Whisper can wheel. I don't think Deep Cavern Bat's going to wheel, but I'm not willing to pass Library of Alexandria for it. If we did not have, like, if we had half this many 1-drops, I'd probably lean towards the Deep Cavern Bat and hope the Night Whisper wheels, but I'm going to take the Library of Alexandria. Is Ancient Tomb... Flash Attracts in the same pack. That's good for us, because we're not taking those cards, so it just makes someone else's life worse. We're not playing the Surrock, probably. Anyways, Ancient Tomb, that's what I was checking. Yeah, we are not a good Ancient Tomb deck, so I'm going to pass that for the Snuff Out and just be very happy that we have a Snuff Out. Kind of an easy pick there, once I realize we're not an Ancient Tomb deck. Entomb. We're not an Entomb deck either. However, this Mox Diamond is kind of nice. It does help fix us, which is a plus. Maybe this Infernal Grasp wheels. I don't think it will, but maybe. But yeah, we're going to take this Mox Diamond here. Okay, we got a fetch land, and even better, it's like our on-color fetch land, which is very important. Angie's Ravager, I don't think this will be a terrible Angie's Ravager deck, but I wouldn't be excited to take it either. Demonic Tutor this late, that's kind of incredible. Swords pick 5 is also kind of incredible. I'm not taking Swords, even though I'm very tempted to. It's just, I'm not really a Demonic Tutor deck either. Like, what am I Demonic Tutoring for? I'm not really an anything deck, honestly. I'm just like kind of discard our opponent, hope to do something with it. I am going to take Demonic Tutor, but I kind of want this cut down, honestly, but I want to take the Demonic Tutor. Wow, Natural Order is in here. Leovold. Just another generic removal spell, basically. Which I guess I'll take. Again, not super excited about this draft, but these are the cards I was dealt. I could have gone into white a little bit quicker. And I kind of tried to a little bit, and then we started getting good black cards again. I guess I'll take Figure of Destiny or Sunbaked Canyon. I'll take Sunbaked Canyon. It's a red land that cycles. Ooh, that's incredible. We already have one colorless land, but we're primarily black, so it's probably not that big of a deal. Having a second fetch land's nice, and having Troll with our Reanimate's also nice. Oh, this is hard. I'm going to take the Wasteland. I don't know. I wish I had more time to think on that, but I don't. Taking the fetch land too would have made the Deathrite Shaman better. And I can see the argument of taking the fetch land and or this fetch land to make the Deathrite Shaman better. How many playables do I have? I need to be quick. 22. I'll take the Knight's Whisper. Although that's probably going to be the last land that I get. Yeah, this does not seem great for us. Let's just take someone's flash. You should have taken it the first time. Yeah, Entomb's not the greatest either for us, unfortunately. I could see taking Dragon Rage Channeler, but I'm just going to take the Verge. I don't think I'm going to play the Verge, but I want to take it there anyways. I'll take the Angie's Ravager. I'll take the Cut Down. That's actually really nice. So now I might regret not taking one of those other lands because I have to cut a card now where I wouldn't have to otherwise. Let's just take the Natural Order. And a Nissa, which I'm also not going to play. I'll see you in the deck tech. The NYSE is returning for its 10th installment. This event will be held June 6th at the Knights of Columbus in Patchogue, New York. Top 8 prizes include all 5 Moxen, Time Walk, Ancestral Recall, and even a Black Lotus. Proxies are allowed for this event. Please use the link in the description for more information on proxies and other questions you may have. Now let's get back to the video. This is what I ended up going with. I'm not going to play the Angie's Ravager, and I'm obviously not going to splash the blue either. I'm not playing Shadowy Backstreet. I'm not going to play a basic mountain, even though I have the Bloodstained Mire. I have 2 different shock ways to play untapped red off of the Bloodstained Mire, and I don't think playing basic mountain is worth it when I literally just have the Chain Lightning and the Fire Covenant. And I really want to make sure I have double black for him to Turok, and keep in mind I have both Library of Alexandria and Wasteland as colorless lands. I do think it's still worth playing Mana Confluence. Obviously, I'm going to play Starting Town, but I do think it's still worth playing Mana Confluence, even though I'm kind of monocolor. But yeah, so the last cut I had to make, really the only cut, as I was saying, in the draft is Angie's Ravager. I'm not sure that that's correct, but that's what I ended up going with. I figured I should cut a red card, and I'd rather have Chain Lightning than Angie's Ravager. It'll be really awkward if I have Angie's Ravager and Library of Alexandria. Obviously, I can choose not to play it, but at that point, why is it in my deck, etc., etc. So, I don't know. That's just what I decided to do, and I will see you in round 1. I am proud to announce the 2026 Oklahoma Land Run Weekend, July 10th through the 12th. This event will be held at the Reed Convention Center in Midwest City, Oklahoma. Join me and my vintage family for a weekend of Magic the Gathering events featuring huge prizes and competitive play across multiple formats. Main events include a Vintage, a Legacy, and a Team Trios event, including Vintage, Legacy, and Modern. Don't have power? No worries. You can proxy any card currently on the reserve list. Side events so far include a High Roller Vintage Cube for Power Thursday evening, at least one old school charity event, a pre-modern challenge also Thursday evening hosted by GameHQ, Duel Commander, and even more to follow. For more information, please use the links in the description to join the Oklahoma Land Run Discord. I'll see you there. Now let's get back to the video. Welcome to round one. We are on the play and we do have a Library of Alexandria we are going to keep. We're going to play our library and hope our opponent doesn't turn one Thoughtseize us. I do not recognize this avatar. They have Strip Mine. Okay. It could be worse. Yep. Now we get to Inquisition them. Oh, we have Blackcleave Cliffs. Yeah. Oh. Nice. Oh, they have Sheoldred. We need to be careful of that. Let's take the Oracle, though. We can always reanimate this. I could see, and I wouldn't blame anyone for wanting to take the Twister because of the Sheoldred, but we have Demonic Tutor to try to answer this. I'm just going to play the Restless Cottage here. I can still Demonic Tutor for Thoughtseize to take something here. Which is probably, I don't know, I guess we'll see. And I definitely don't want the green source. Don't think I want red either, but we'll see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just going to be a Thoughtseize. I don't want to reanimate and have our opponent... I guess they don't have any black sources. That's good to know. So, like, it's going to be incredibly hard for them to Sheoldred next turn. I just don't know if it's worth reanimating for Oracle the Alpha. I think I'd rather just honestly Thoughtseize them. Now I have two choices here. I technically, I guess three, but I don't respect the balance enough here. I think it's between the playable Time Twister or the unplayable Sheoldred, and I think I'm just going to take the Time Twister. Remember, I can start activating my Restless Cottage. Hey, we Thoughtseize just in time. This is how much to activate? 4. Okay, so we can't activate it yet. Profitably, at least. All right, well, unfortunately, they're going to get the draw and discard now. And if they draw a land, that's one black source closer to getting to Sheoldred, which is very unfortunate. If they discard any land, they can also just kill our Restless Cottage with this act, which is not great. This comes a 4/4 though, so that's nice. And we can start exiling cards. Okay, they did find a black source, so they can kill our Restless Cottage. But here, I'm just going to play Concealing Curtains and then kind of force them to use their Heartless Act on Concealing Curtains. I could have seen... oh no, I don't have the other green. So this was... I just literally couldn't activate this regardless. I needed another green. So not relevant. Never mind. Do they have a counterspell? Because the Heartless Act already deals with this. Yeah. I mean, I'm still going to go to flip it, but Heartless Act just cleans it up nicely, and then they get to move on. Yep. Now my person doesn't flip, and then nothing happens, and then we're sad, and then we say go. Notably, Harvester of Misery does kind of clean up these 2/2s pretty well. I just hope that they don't have a second black source, so I don't have to commit an entire turn to killing the Shieldred. Here I am just going to cast this. If they daze me or counterspell me, then that's fine. I think they might have a counterspell based on how long it took them to resolve the Concealing Curtains. Okay. Yep, I can see that. At least it cost them to tap their Grim Monolith, but obviously them drawing 2 cards is kind of abysmal. Mystic Confluence was a great draw for them. Oh, Show and Tell would have been decent with the Persistence, the Virtue of Persistence. That would have been kind of funny. No! Oh, there goes our Virtue. I don't think there's a world where they let us keep Virtue, especially when we're at 5 mana already. Well, this game has definitely advantaged our opponent so far, which is unfortunate. Well, here's a Bauble. Can't wait to draw a Mox Diamond next turn. Okay, we see a Time Spiral. So they're just trying to get to another, another black source. I'm just going to Chain Lightning this. We can, there's another way, there's other ways we could potentially turn on Tragic Trajectory. Yep. Currency Converter taking over games since whenever this was printed. 2022 maybe. I don't remember. I know it's somewhat recent. Yep, draw a card. Okay, that's not the worst. Okay, not another black source. That's good for us. Unfortunately, we are just dead to Shieldred into Time Spiral, though. Alright, here is a Graveyard Trespasser. I hope this sticks. Alright, let's gain a life so we're not just straight up dead. See, this would be another time where Emperor of Bones would be not terrible. Because we could have gotten an Oracle the Alpha, but here I'm just going to Deathrite Shaman. How did they get rid of the Underground Sea? Did they just choose not to exile? Either way, now they can untap the Grim Monolith. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, no, they're 2 mana short. Okay, Preordain, yep. Keep in mind we can start attacking with the Restless Cottage now if we start eating their lands. There's the black source. And now if they have untapped land next turn or a treasure, they can Shieldred and Time Spiral us in the same turn. A Reanimate off the top would not be the worst because we can Concealing Courtyard. Or Curtains, not Courtyard. Sorry, that's a land. Concealing Curtains to try to hit either Shieldred or Time Spiral. And honestly, I'd probably just hit the Shieldred and then exile it. Oh, well now I can do this way. No, because that puts us back to, yeah, I should not do it that way. I guess I can eat one of my, creatures with the Graveyard Trespasser. From a graveyard, yeah, okay. But I also just don't want them to have this Strip Mine back. We are going to hit our own graveyard, and we're going to hit probably our Harvester, because they're Concealing Curtains, depending on what they do. If they don't have 10 mana next turn, we can a Reanimate spell still Concealing Courtyards. And here, I think we're going to take the Twister, just so they can't double Twister us, or at least it's less likely. They could have more Twister effects, of course. All right. They need double They need untap land or this to be a... oh, they're just making a 2/2. Okay. Oh, Samwise. Okay. This food is a way to tragic trajectory as well. Alright, so... oh, no, that does it. And now we're dead to attacks. Dang. Because even though we gain 2, we'll lose 4. Yeah, that's too bad. Yep, we die to Xaxes because the mana confluence. That's too bad. So yeah, our opponent probably had the Mox already in hand. Oh well, I'll see you next round. Welcome to round 2. Here we have Thoughtseize into Reanimate, which can be very strong, and we're on the play, we're going to keep. So something to keep in mind now when we Thoughtseize, if we can Thoughtseize a really good creature, or a strong enough creature I should say, then Reanimating becomes very, very good. I could also see Nethergoyfing, but this is Vintage Cube, or Powered Cube I should say, so I don't think giving our opponent a free turn if we can help it is great. Oh. Well, this is the matchup to do this. I guess Torsten or Woodfall Primus to blow up their first land. It's just unfortunate because Overlord, they can play Overlord into Animate Dead. So maybe I'm supposed to Overlord. I don't want to take Animate Dead. I want to use this Reanimate. I want to take the Overlord. I don't want them to have a play on turn 3 based on their starter. They still have to find a natural way to discard these. I definitely think that the Overlord's the weakest, but right now it's the only one they can play. Okay, Graveyard Trespasser is a great draw. And we can play it next turn. And they've been to Lion's Eye Diamond, that's good to know. Let's see if they found an untapped red for the Kavu. Something I may do is I may Demonic Tutor next turn, actually, for Inquisition and take the Animate Dead. It's a line I probably should have considered when I Thoughtseized Reanimated to take, like, the Woodfall Primus. Is probably the best thing I could have done there. But here I'm just going to take the Inquisition. And then Inquisition their Animate Dead just to kind of help reduce the possibilities of what they can do. Yeah, and they drew Archon, okay. Take the Curtains. Now an untapped land lets us Curtains. Don't know if it'll be relevant or not. Also, something I didn't say either, the Overlord's kind of feeling the Nethergoyf, which is nice. Yep, we knew they had a land, and their top deck was Llanowar Elves. Fantastic. Okay, we can Curtains, but I don't really want to discard anything and let them draw. So I guess we should attack first. Maybe we grow the Goyf. Yes, we did. Fantastic. We didn't hit anything, unfortunately, but that's fine. I assume that they're going to block, because they can't cast anything, even if they keep the Llanowar Elves. Because if they don't block now, this is lethal next turn. I guess it's lethal either way, but they can have an... I don't know. I guess it's lethal either way, so maybe they shouldn't. Alright, let's... Graveyard Trespasser... Oh, you know what? Is it better to just Mai? Yeah, let's Mai. Oh, I should have used the Sunbait Canyon so I could play out both of these. Oh well, I'll play out the Deathrite Shaman accept my mistake. And this is whenever a player, so it affects me as well. But if they want to reanimate, they have to go to 1 to do it. So, all right. I could have played that better. I explained how I could have played that better, and I hope you're taking notes. I'll see you next round. Welcome to round 3. We are on the play yet again. And this just might be, I don't want to mulligan this hand, and this might just be a turn 2 Demonic Tutor for him to Turok, maybe. Again, not the best Demonic Tutor deck, and this is kind of what I'm talking about when I say I don't like to take Demonic Tutor in some decks, because I'm just literally giving up my entire second turn to tutor for something that may not even be useful the following turn. And the alternative is I don't cast it, and then I'm just not doing anything on turn 2. So my opponent gains a little bit of tempo there. Our opponent plays a swamp, which is not exciting for me. Here I'm just going to preemptively fetch so that we can at least attack for 1. We'll get the Stomping Ground, we'll enter it tapped. And we'll attack for 1 because it's better than attacking for 0. I could have Demonic Tutored, of course. But again, I don't know what I want to be getting. And we could have done 1 more damage. I don't know if that's going to be relevant. And now we have Demonic Tutor for Thoughtseize, which might be better on turn 3. And depending on what they do here, I can always Dismember still. Or Snuff Out. These are basically the same card. Oh, we have Inquisition. And our opponent can't have Spell Pierce here, so... I mean, I guess they could Manamorphose into Spell Pierce. That would be crazy. Let's Inquisition. Bowmasters? Oh, no, Fatal Push. That's fine. We can get this back eventually. Oh, that's not good for us. Interesting that they didn't want to cast Entomb. Why didn't they cast Entomb? That's kind of crazy in my opinion. Now, I don't want a Demonic Tutor here because that just sends off red flags for grief. Okay. I assume that's a Sego. And I don't want a him either. Like, next turn, Demonic Tutor into him just does not seem great. Because almost no matter what I hit, like, I don't want to hit Woodfall Primus, and I don't really want to hit Embarrass Ride, so I'd have to hit Damnation, Grief, and those aren't doing anything right now anyways. Oh. Well, now we have Demonic Tutor for Thoughtseize, and then reanimate the Woodfall Primus. That was almost a massive punt. Not tapping the Stomping Ground for the Demonic Tutor could have cost me the game. Okay, so I think the best play is still Thoughtseize here and blow up one of their lands, because it just puts them so far behind. Unfortunately, if they Damnation, they get the Woodfall Primus back. So something I could do is I could Thoughtseize this Grief, reanimate the Grief, take Damnation. But this is setting them a land back, and it's kind of a fast clock. I'm gonna go for the pure upside here. And if they have, I don't mind the Savannah even. Okay, there we go. I think they should have played it out because they're literally top deck black source for Damnation. Maybe they don't know that the Woodfall Primus goes back to them. I would have played it out, but either way, I'll see you next round. Welcome to round 4, I believe. We are on the draw. We have Cecil and Chain Lightning and Nethergoyf and Harvest of Misery. I don't think our deck is super explosive enough to like want to mulligan. Like I don't want to mulligan to Thoughtseize. Also, something that I considered earlier too, because I've been Demonic Tutoring for Thoughtseize a lot, I feel like, or Inquisition, basically the same card. And something I was kind of thinking about is, well, first off, real quick, do I rather do Cecil or Nethergoyf? I would rather the Nethergoyf get hit first. But like Nethergore is just such not a threat right now. I think I'm just gonna play the Cecil. It's fine. Anyways, that since I've been 3-mana discarding, I guess that makes Curtains fine. So since Curtains is a 3-mana discard anyways, I mean technically 4, but it's just something I thought about while waiting on this opponent that I've been 3-mana thought seizing a lot. Yeah, that's what Curtain does. Now obviously Curtains also lets them draw a card, which is why I don't like it that much, but I think I should attack first. I don't really want to use a removal spell on Thundertrap Trainer. Now I can Nethergoyf and play Bloodstained Mire. Now this can bolt me if I want it to, but we're so far from flipping this, I don't think that's something I should play to. So for now, I'm just going to leave it here. Talisman, okay. That's what they revealed off Thundertrap. I would love to draw Thoughtseize here. I don't want to draw a land, so I'm just going to crack this now, and I think I'm just going to put it into play tapped. I have the Verge for the green, so I'm going to play the Blood Crypt. And again, I'm just going to enter it tapped. Okay, so here I can Chain Lightning them. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to attack through with the Nethergoyf without having to Chain Lightning their Thundertrap Trainer, which I've already said I just do not want to do. Notably, if they had a Spell Pierce, they could have stopped that because I didn't play my land first. Just something to keep in mind. Here I'm going to play the starting town post-combat. I don't know what this Thundertrap Trainer is doing. If it's not blocking, obviously Nethergoyf can grow. But I do expect... Okay, yeah, they are. As I say, I do expect a block here. Oh, that's interesting. Deals damage, period, not just to opponent. That's cool. All right, opponent is some type of Jeskai deck so far. Enlightened Tutor, that's scary. We do have a basically a disfigure. Oh, that's not good for us. Are we just dead then? Yeah, we're just dead. Yep, we're just gonna get comboed. There was literally nothing we could do about it other than mulligan to Thoughtseize, which, I mean, I don't know if I'm taking Enlightened Tutor there. I guess if I see Enlightened Tutor Brain Freeze Lotus Petal, I'm doing it, but yeah, sometimes your opponent just has their combo. This is like the one deck that, I'm not even going to say that you want, but it's like the one deck that plays Enlightened Tutor, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I'm not going to make them go through the motions. I'll see you next round. Welcome to round 5. Unfortunately, we did get brainstormed out of the, or brain freezed. Sorry, not brainstormed. You can argue brainstormed out of the last round. Here, I'm going to keep this because it's Nethergoyf into Mai. Having a Mai last game would have been actually insane. Yes, this taps for black. Normally, I guess I don't want to draw any more lands, so let's just do this. It means I don't have my green source, but that's fine. Let's just swamp. Play this Nethergoyf. The green source is literally just for Deathrite Shaman activation on creature, which is only good against creature matchups, and this deck's already good against creature matchups. Okay, that's a Tamiyo. I hope they don't have a Daze. Oh. Well, here I just wanted him to Turok, I think. Nice. I'll take those. It's a free block. Yep. I should not have attacked there. They could have a Ragavan there. I just kind of clicked through my turn. So that wasn't correct in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying they do have a Ragavan because it's kind of a tall order at this point, but it's still not correct to attack there. Kind of wish we had a Snuff Out. Snuff Out would have been nice. Okay, so they are actually a red deck, so... Alright, Gobin. Alright, well, that's the thing. Cameo attacks, okay. Now we get to play a game of... Do we eat or do we play Mai? And I think we're supposed to Mai. Well, let's attack first. I'm not going to play around a daze. Now, if they discard a fatty and reanimate it, our Emperor Bones wouldn't have stopped that anyways. But now if they discard a fatty and don't reanimate it, we can reanimate it. See if they attack us for unblockable 1, which I assume is happening. This can block, right? It just can't be blocked. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Draw a discard. Oh. I don't know why they're looking at their hand. I can't block. They want to play something before combat? I was gonna say they don't have 4 mana, and that's where the oh, you know what? The Planeswalker is 3 mana to ninjutsu in, but I think if they had that, they would have played it. I don't know why they. I don't know. I don't know what they could have had. They could have had lots of things. Okay, they did discard and unearth. Knight's Whisper, eh? Well, let's trade. And by trade, I mean trade blows. I guess pre-combat Emperor of Bones might have been fine, because if they countered it, it's just another type for Nethergoyf, but I want to play this Knight's Whisper. Okay. Let's play the Knight's Whisper. This is going to make us lose 4, which is not the greatest. No, the blowout. All right, well, that hurt. Yeah, that might just be game in and of itself. That Hull Breacher was so random and brutal at the same time. And because of the clues, like I don't I just didn't expect a Hull Breacher there. Funnily enough, the Emperor Bones would have been the better play. Yep. At least they're going to 10 now. The world is kind of their oyster, unfortunately. Yeah, that Hull Breacher might have just swung it back for them. So this might be a 2-3, unfortunately, league. Which, I mean, what do you expect with this style of deck, I guess? Yep. And, of course, the Emperor Bones is face up, so they know not to put a big creature in the yard, if they even have one. Now, in this situation, I would love a removal spell off the top. We have a bunch of them. And then a removal spell off the top gives us a instant speed Hull Breacher for 1 turn, so we can stop them drawing for exactly 1 turn. Which realistically means that we stop a clue, basically. Okay. And then flipping Tamiyo seems great here. Prevents a lot of damage. I can't attack through the Hull Breacher. Yep. Yeah, this seems great here. Now, something I can do is adapt the Emperor of Bones and not reanimate anything so that I can attack and clear the Tamiyo, or I killed the Hull Breacher. They're looking at the Emperor Bones. They might be deciding that right now, but they've already flipped the Tamiyo, and you can't minus Tamiyo, so you might as well plus it and move on. It's the only thing Tamiyo can do. Yep. Alright, Deathrite Shaman's not the greatest here. Yeah. I think I just want to hit the Tamiyo down to 1 with the Emperor of Bones. I assume they won't have an objection to that. And honestly, if they don't block it, I don't have to pump it. Yep, makes sense. I'm not going to pump. I'm just going to play Deathrite Shaman, play Swamp, say go. Unfortunately, the Gobin can still attack. Only having 2 types in the yard is kind of brutal. But I can start attacking with Restless Cottage next turn, which is another reason why I didn't have Emperor of Bones eat a land, because I want the Deathrite Shaman to be able to do that still. And that's honestly a lot of damage, because remember, if they try to remove it like without a Harvester of Misery effect, which would wipe their board currently too, then they have to take, they're at theoretical 8 here. They can't really discard a creature. Okay. Well, the more lands they discard, the better for us. Also, Deathrite Shaman can start hitting them for 2 as well, but I think threatening the Restless Cottage is better. Also, arguably, I should have pumped the Emperor of Bones. I think I just want to threaten a bunch of damage. And I think I just want to attack them at this point. Because Tamiyo's, I mean, they could always time walk, get back Tamiyo, or get it back with Tamiyo, and by time walk I mean time warp or any of those effects. Mystic Confluence would be great for them here. Fresh start. Interesting. Okay. Fresh start's annoying, but I guess it's fine. Attack them to 3. I do want to eat the Unearth. I just don't want them to block with Hull Breacher and be able to buy back the Hull Breacher with Unearth because of the Tamiyo. Okay. And because they let me attack, I still get, okay, as I say, I still get a food token out of it too. Take the red black land, I guess, because I don't want to eat food here anyways. Now they can buy back the Mind Collapse, and then they can kill the Deathrite Shaman or the Mai with it. This is an incredibly close game, considering I took 4 to give them 2 treasure tokens, of which they've used both so far. Based on how this game has gone without that Hull Breacher, I think we were winning in pretty quick succession without it. And keep in mind, treasure cruise isn't the worst, but Time Twister is just really bad for us. Okay, Cracking Clue to start is really good. That means they probably have a bunch of spells they can't cast, or a bunch of spells that don't matter, and they don't want to cast them into Mai. Yep. Draw a discard. So they're at a theoretical 4, which means they're at a theoretical 2 because of Death Right. So one more turn cycle and we might win this. It would be amazing to draw an instant and be able to grow this Nethergoyf. Get back Mind Collapse? No, Mind Collapse, the land mountain's already gone. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. We don't need to attack, though. Now, they are going to draw a bunch of cards, but with the Death Right, if we untap with Death Right Shaman, okay, I was going to say they only get one more activation. But Demonic Tutor hits us, too. Chain Lightning is still a play. I can always Demonic Tutor for Chain Lightning next turn. This is actually really tough. I wish they didn't do this to my Emperor of Bones. That makes me lose and go to 4. I do have 3 blockers. I'd go to 1 off the Gobin. And then any bolt kind of kills me. But they're dead either way if I untap with Deathrite Shaman, so I think I shouldn't play to them killing me with a bolt. And I can hit them for exactly 1 to 5. Yeah, so no. Attacking here is not good either. And they could have Snapcaster Mage, so I kind of want to hit them now. Also things like Treasure Cruise. And now if they cast 2 spells, they're dead. So the first spell they cast has to kill my. But if I Demonic Tutor, they go to 1, they can't cast any spells. You have to have a counter spell and then a bolt doesn't kill me, so I think I am just going to do it. Go to 4. Or I go to 4, they go to 1. Or they can go to 2 and then they can't cast anything else. Okay, they go to 2. And I have blocks. Oh no, they can flip that, can't they? Oh no, I forgot they could flip it. Okay, I just lost. They flip it and attack and kill me. I don't have a blocker in the air. I don't want to hover over it. That was so bad. I should have checked. I don't want to hover over it. Maybe they forgot they can flip it too, but it should be highlighted if they can. It's probably 4 mana to flip. I don't know if it's 5 or 4. But they just drew half their deck, so I imagine that if it's 5, they can still do it. So I think I just lost because I forgot about Flip Gobin. I just feel like they had to have removal in their deck, and so this way, you know, they could have just killed the Mai and then done whatever they wanted. But now I think they just have Flip Gobin. Flipping, it's a sorcery, right? Oh, oh no, I was going to say if they had ninjutsu too, that does it. Yeah, they had lethal. They just flipped Gobin. I don't think I'm missing that, right? But our opponent did as well. Yep. They can't cast anything, and they're dead to Deathrite Shaman. They can't cast non-creatures, and they've already attacked. So, like... VV... Oh, but my trigger resolves first. Because their trigger goes on the stack first. No! Orcish Bowmasters? Are you kidding me? Oh, that's brutal. Especially after last video, too. I mean, we should have been dead to the Gobin anyways. Also, nice slow roll, opponent. I'll see you in the outro. Alright, well, unfortunately, Bowmasters got us there in the end. I could have played differently, of course. My thought process was, if I said go, they can cast 2 spells. And if they cast 2 spells, the first one's probably a removal spell, and they hit the and then it doesn't matter what else they do with the rest of their turn. And with them being able to ultimate the Tameo, I felt like the chances of them having removal spell is just infinite. So that's why I did what I did. I forced them to basically, I guess, have a Bowmasters there. But obviously I missed the Gobin, and they could have killed me through the Gobin anyway. So none of that was really relevant. So I should have established that, hey, the Gobin can flip and I will die to it. So I should have just said go. But our opponent did apparently miss that, or they were maybe they drew the Orcish Bowmasters for turn and they just wanted to troll just to troll. I don't know. But either way, this is not an exciting deck choice. We never really got to go off with Mox Diamond at all. We demonic tutored for Thoughtseize or Inquisition way more than I'd care for. And at the end of the day, we just tried to stick a couple threats, and who knows, maybe if we drew one of those disruptive hands in a previous round, we would have disrupted the Breach player, or if we would have had like for example, that game. I don't think Breach can win that fast with a they might be able to, but with Lotus Petal they just take so much damage to cast a spell. But I think they're at 20 life or 60, even at like 16 or so, let's say. I think that's enough. Like, they just have to be at 2, right? So like, as long as they mill any removal spell that's castable off Lotus Petal, they're probably fine. So the Mai is probably not good enough, is my point there either, at least with a well-constructed deck. So unfortunately, we just didn't really get there. It would have been nice if we were in a position to take the Entomb, but we weren't. And the games that we won were games that we reanimated our opponent's stuff. So let that be what it may. I do think our mana base was great for what it is, for being basically a monocolor deck. I don't think we ever wanted for anything. And the Restless Cottage was kind of fun too. Potentially at least putting us in position to win multiple games. But yeah, I will see you in the next video. Welcome back to another episode of What's on Edward's Wall. Today, my card is Paradoxical Outcome, signed by the one and only Justin Franks, also known as the Power 9 on Moto. Justin's been an absolute pleasure to get to know over the last several years. I first met them in the 2019 SCG Con. I forget what it was called, but it was a Power 9 event where top 4 won Power. They did a Legacy and a Vintage. And I ended up top 4ing that event, and I'll talk about that event a lot, actually. But yeah, so Justin and Dan Miller were the finalists. I don't remember. I lost to Dan in the top 4. I don't remember which one of them won. I remember trying to resolve the top 4. Like, we agreed to let to draft basically them instead of, because I think 4th was getting Time Twister, and Time Twister had just spiked like 300% or something like that. Like, it was kind of ridiculous. And if I was smart and looked at the breakers, that even if I lost in top 4, I was getting 4th. So if I just didn't agree to that, I was getting Time Twister. But I wanted to go with what felt right, so to speak, and so I agreed to it. I was there. I wanted the Jet. If I got first, I was picking the Jet. I know that's not necessarily correct, because there's the I think it was Recall. It was Recall or Time Walk. I think it was Recall. I think Time Walk was in the other bracket. So it was the 8 pieces of power, not Lotus, were like the 8 different ones for the top 4 for Vintage and the top 4 for Legacy. But yeah, in that way, I mean, assuredly the person that won the jet would have, been willing to swap the time twister. They're like, Edward, why would you do that? Well, I had a damaged Mox jet that's kind of notorious with me at this point, if you're in my immediate circle at least. And I just wanted to upgrade it. I had recently finished all my power in 2017, I think. Yeah, 2017. And I haven't played in a lot of vintage tournaments at this point, and I finished my power. I had a damaged piece, like I had a crease all the way across the middle. Like it was exactly where, like if you set a card like sideways, it was exactly where that card met. So I guarantee, like you cannot convince me otherwise, that that Mox Jet was not used like back in the day as a placeholder slash like, oh, this is like for my black section, and like folded it in half or whatever to fit in the box. I don't know how else you get that crease, because it was a pretty bad crease. But you know what? It was like $400 at the time, and back when Moxen were like 800 to 1,000, so I wasn't going to complain, and it was sleeve playable as long as I played in perfect fit hards. But anyways, I digress. Back to Justin. Justin, I believe you're out in LA, and I've been trying to convince them to come out to the land run. Of course, like they have like kids and like family or something. I don't get it either. I don't know. Just kidding, Justin. I totally understand, but hopefully one of these times we can host you out here in Oklahoma. I say out here, I'm in Indiana now, but out there in Oklahoma. Maybe I'll do a tournament series here in Indiana. We'll see. But either way, I just wanted to show off that card, and I'll do it one more time. Justin, you're amazing. I greatly appreciate you, and I hope to see you soon, buddy.